is up, you guys? Today's video is going to be on these two palettes. I got them from Ulta. These are the Lancome limited edition holiday palettes, and online they looked really interesting, which is why I wanted to pick them up and test them right away for you guys. This is the eyeshadow palette, and I don't know if this is going to be limited edition. I think it might be, but I've never really seen a palette like in this fashion from Lancome, so I thought this was really interesting, and it's more than just neutrals. It's colorful, it's got some pops of color, and that's basically the reason why I wanted to order this palette, and then to see how well it performed, which is why you see these two colors or these two different looks on my eyes right now. I wanted to use each and every single color, wanted to give it some time, some love, and to see how they applied and if they are good or not, let you guys know my thoughts on these. Then the second palette that I have is a facial palette. It is a face palette, it is a highlighter palette, and as soon as I saw this online, I knew that I had to immediately purchase this because I just love highlighters. I think I have a thing for highlighters. It's pretty bad, but I think I have a thing for highlighters, and I wanted to test out their highlighters so bad. I remember seeing like a different kind of set that they had inside the store, and I wanted to buy it, but I did not get a chance to. So now I decided to purchase it, and it comes with 3 shades. This one over here, this is a Starlight Pink, I think they said, and this one is a limited edition color specifically to this palette. And then these two are already existing shades that they have. This one is Sparkling Pesh, which is an iridescent peach color. And then this one right here in the middle is called Shimmering Buff, which is an iridescent gold highlighter. I did swatch them on my hand right here, and then I also used them on my face. I do have both Shimmering Buff and Sparkling Pesh on this side. I decided to put Sparkling Pesh more towards back here on the back because it was a little bit more intense, a little bit more grainy, not necessarily grainy, but it was a lot more chunkier, I guess you can say. It's not like a shimmering kind of highlight like the Shimmering Buff one. It is definitely sparkling for sure for Sparkling Pesh, and then this Shimmering Buff is definitely shimmering. It's not as chunky glitter as the Sparkling Pesh, if you get what I mean. That was a lot of sparkling and shimmering, but that's pretty much what I did there. And then for like my nose, and then I did have some of my Cupid's bow, but the lipstick, I was a little overlined today. But the other parts of my face, I do have Shimmering Buff, which was a perfect nose highlight because of the fact that it's so fine. And then on this side of my face, I do have the sparkling, or the Starlight Pink, and I definitely love it. I think that the fact that the Starlight Pink that was in the palette definitely swayed me to buy this palette even more, especially because there's a combination of different colors, and I think that this is really nice for all skin tones. I think that the Shimmering Buff is going to be a definite favorite for those who enjoy a natural highlight. This retails for $39. I do want to mention that I really do like these highlighters. These highlighters apply really nicely to the skin. I did not use a brush for these. I used my finger and just kind of patted it on, and then used a clean finger to kind of blend them out. But I think that if you were to use a brush, especially on this Starlight Pink, it would be amazing. It is so pretty. I really love how that pink just bounces off of my skin. And then this side also, I really do like the Shimmering Buff, even though it is more natural than what I prefer, because I do really like a shimmering glittery highlight. I do love that, but I think that it is really nice for if you want to do kind of a subtle, nice, natural glow kind of highlight. So that's definitely something that I would really like to, and I really like the fact that it's on the tip of the nose like that. And then the Sparkling Pesh, I really do like it. I like how sparkly it is, and it's a really nice color. I think it is a lot better, personally for me, I think it would be a lot better during the summer months, or when I'm more bronzed or more tan, which is not very often, but there's like probably a month out of the year when I'm like super bronzy, I would say, and I think that would be really good for that time. Alright, now that we've got the small highlighting palette out of the way, now it is time to talk about this big palette. This is their 12 color eyeshadow palette, and I do believe this is going to be limited edition. However, I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this palette and kind of go over every single color here. The first thing that I want to mention is, what do you see that's wrong with this palette? Because the big thing that I see here is they could have used all of this extra space for a mirror and Lancome. Why didn't you guys put a mirror in here? That's crazy. You're paying $49 for this palette, which, sure, I get it, it's for the name and everything, but the least they could have done is put a mirror in here with this big empty space, and it totally would have helped me out, especially if you, Lancome, if you want me to take this to travel, which I could, if that was a thing, then I wouldn't even need to carry a mirror with me, so get it together, okay? Going more into depth with this palette retails for $49, and they are really good sized pans. They are probably your standard pans for, like, you know, any other kind of eyeshadows. You can tell that the palette comes with 6 kind of neutral colors, neutral everyday colors, and then 6 of more of like a vibrant, colorful kind of tone. And I do actually, you know, the reason why that I bought this palette was because I saw that the palette had neutrals, had your everydays, you know, you had your crease and transition all over shades, and then you had these pops of color here. And I think that's what's definitely set Lancome's eye palettes, sets this one apart from the rest of the other ones that I've seen in the past. And they've kind of caught up with the times, I think. I don't really have very many Lancome eyeshadow palettes because to me the formulas were never that great. These are, I feel like they're kind of catching up with the times now. I'm going to go through each and every single color, that way you guys know and can see what I'm talking about here. Because of the fact that I did use all 12 colors on my eyes today, I wanted to show you guys something kind of normal and then something kind of colorful. That way you guys can see the color payoff and how they were applied. I'm going to run across every single color in this palette. That way you guys can get my thoughts on how these colors apply and know my thoughts on them. In this palette, you have 5 mattes and 7 shimmers / metallics. And I want to start off with Sand. Sand is a very nice color. It is a very nice all over color, which I definitely liked. These mattes, I will start off by saying that these mattes do have fallout in the pan, especially when you're using a fluffy blending brush. You will for sure get some kickback, and you will want to dust off or tap off your brush before you use them onto your eyes. The next color is going to be Embers. Embers is a really nice orangey rusty color, and it is really nice in the crease. As you can see, I did use it in this crease area right here, and it did blend very well. The next color is going to be Citrine Copper. Citrine Copper I'm a little disappointed in because of the fact that I wish that it was just a little bit more vibrant than it really is. That is the color that is on the lid right here, and it is not really that metallic or shimmery as I would have wanted it to be. It's sort of like a satin to me, and when I think of satin, I think of something that is a little bit, it's more finely milled, and it's not as glittery or not as metallic. So for Citrine Copper, you can see right here, it's more of like just like a sheen, like a metallic satiny sheen, so it's not really that bam kind of metallic color that you typically see for this kind of shade in a palette, but it is a nice everyday kind of color, like I said before, of the neutrals. It is a really nice everyday daytime kind of look. The next color is called Galactic Sapphire, and this one is sort of an oxymoron, I feel. This Galactic Sapphire is not exactly sapphire at all. It's more of like a deep forest green, more of like a, I don't know, kind of like a moss maybe, with some gold shimmer through it. And this one is okay. I do have it on the outer edge right here, kind of mixed in with another color, but it is okay. You do see the gold pigments in there when you do apply it to your eye. So I can definitely appreciate that the gold pigments don't fall out, which I will go over a different color that does that, and that is something that I absolutely not hate, but I dislike it very, very much. This one is a really nice mossy green color with some gold shimmers through it, and it does show on the eyelid, so I can definitely deal with that. I like that, and I think this is a really nice color, especially in the outer edge here. The next color is going to be Violet Mercury. Violet Mercury is one of the shadows in here that I totally dislike and I'm so upset with because of the fact that I felt like this color could have been a lot better than what it is. And this is what it looks like swatched, and it's just like an iridescent. It's not even really a metallic or satin. I just feel like it's just an iridescent kind of color. There is hardly any payoff, like color payoff on this. It is really, really sheer. I tried to put it on to the center of my lid right here, which you can kind of see a little bit of it, but it took a little bit of work. I used my finger. I did not wet it. I'm sure that if you did put some sort of spray or something on top of it, you know, to go onto it, it would work. But I wanted to use these colors just the way that they are. And yeah, so this color, Violet Mercury, is one of the least impressive colors out of this palette. It's got sort of like, it's very tough in the pan. I feel like I had to dig in the pan a little bit to get any sort of color payoff, especially with a brush. So that one is the only one that I don't really like in this palette. The next color is Siren's Emerald. Siren's Emerald is one of the other colors that really attracted me to this palette, and it is a really beautiful, it's very dark, it's got like a teal shift to it, and I definitely really like it. I used it on the outer edge of this side right here, and I definitely love that kind of like sheen teal that you get whenever you kind of move with the light. So I definitely really like this color, and the color also applied really, really well to my lid. So I definitely love this color. I think this one I probably will try to use maybe on its own or something like that, because this is a really nice color and I really, really like this teal color out of it. Then we have Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz is a really nice shimmery color. I think it is really, really good for the inner corner highlight, which I did use on this side here, and I used it for my brow bone highlight. And this one is a really, really nice shimmery rose quartz color. I think it is really nice, and I used it also on the very inner third right there. It's a nice color. It's a nice highlighting color. It's nothing to write home about. It's a little bit more powdery than the Citrine Copper one. So I do like this one. I do like it. I think that it could be really nice for like an all-over lid color, especially like a daytime color as well. But I do like this one, even though it's not anything exciting, but it's just it's a nice thought that they had put into here for something as like a brow bone highlight color. The next color is going to be Dawn. Dawn is a really nice all-over lid color. I think this is a really nice color, especially for after putting down your primer and then just kind of setting the primer, which is what I did over here. You can't really see it, but it is a really nice all-over color, and there's nothing really wrong I can say about this color. So I'm going to move on to the next one. The next one is going to be Henna. And Henna I did have a little bit of trouble with. I mixed it with the Galactic Sapphire over here. I put the henna more so on the outer edge and kind of like a little bit into the crease. And henna is this is probably the only color in the palette that is a little bit on the drier side. It does take a little bit of work to work with this shadow, but it does come off. The color payoff is there. It just needs a little bit of work. Then I have Midnight Stone. Midnight Stone is one of those shadows that I'm severely disappointed in. I don't like these shadows where when you go to apply them, especially with a brush, the glitters tend to fall off. And just look at that. I just swatched this onto my hand, and then I took a brush and half of it right here, all of the glitters just literally fell off. And that's what kind of eyeshadow I just do not like whatsoever. I really wish that the formula was a little bit better for this color, because if you go to try to take a brush and put this onto your eyelid and try to blend it out, this is what you're going to get, which is just this deep, deep, deep brown. So this is one of the other colors I did not like in this. It looks great in the pan. It looks so beautiful in the pan. But as soon as you put it on your eyelid, all of the little pigments, all of the little glitters fall off. So it's really not worth it. Bringing it a little bit more to the positive side on this note, Magnetic Magenta. Wow, that was really hard. Magnetic Magenta is a really beautiful pinky color. It is on the inner part of my eyelid over here, and it's a really beautiful color. It looks a little bit more red here, but when I put it onto my eye, it was a little bit more pink. I think it just depends on what kind of light you're looking at it in. It shifts kind of like a red to a magenta, which I really do like, and this color was so easy to put on, especially with like a flat condensed brush. It was so easy to put on, and the color payoff is there. It's beautiful, it's soft, it's smooth, but not to the point where it's like the Violet Mercury, where it just didn't even come off at all on the pan. This one is a really, really nice color. Last but not least, we have Arabian Nights. Arabian Nights is sort of like a black color. I don't really think that this is considered like a black. Personally, I would say it's sort of like a charcoal color. I don't know, it's just not really as black as I would have liked it to be, but it's actually a really nice color to deepen your look with, which I did mix it with the Siren's Emerald over here and, you know, put it into the crease area. But this is more to me of like a charcoal black, which to me is not really black. It's not as black as like the night, I guess. But this one is a really nice color. It blends really, really well, and if you have patience with it, just like with any other black color, this is going to be really, really nice. So it is a really nice color. I do really like this one. This one is really, really nice, and it is very soft. Overall, I'm going to say that the mattes, with the exception of henna, all of the mattes are very soft, very pigmented, very easy to blend. Henna just is a little bit more drier, and it's just a hint dry compared to the other four colors, the other four mattes. Henna is just a little bit, you gotta work with it a little bit more, but I do overall really like the mattes in this palette, so this is a definite yes on the mattes. As far as the metallic or the shimmery colors, Violet Mercury and Midnight Stone are the only two that I really don't like in this palette. The others are fine, they work really well, and like I said, there's going to be fallout on here too, especially if you're using a fluffy brush. So definitely stay on the lookout for that. There's going to be fallout. The only two colors I really don't like out of here is the Violet Mercury and the Midnight Stone. Those are not really the greatest, but the other 5 metallics slash shimmers in this palette are really, really wonderful. They work really well, very pigmented, and I can't wait to use them some more. Overall, would I recommend this palette? I think I would. I would recommend this palette because you get lots of color combinations in here, and even though there are 2 bad colors out of the whole bunch, I think it's still worth it for 10 shadows. Now the price of this is $49, which is a little bit expensive, especially, you know, for something that is limited edition like this, but these are really good sized pans. I think that you'll get a lot of use out of these, and I don't know, it's nice. I just wish that they had a mirror. So that's about the only thing that I wish that they did have in this palette, but this is a really nice palette. I'm actually really surprised with the quality of these shadows from Lancome. Like I said, I haven't tried any of their eyeshadow palettes because it just kind of reminds me of the Estee Lauder palettes, where it's like the rectangles and it's just like the color bricks, and it's just does not seem that great. So I think they really put some time and effort into this one, and I can definitely appreciate that, and I really do like this one. Those are my thoughts on these 2 palettes. Let me know if you guys are planning on picking them out, and if you guys want to see more looks on these. I definitely do really like the 2 looks that I did. One's a little unconventional, one's more conventional, so you guys take your pick. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and stay tuned for my future videos, and I will see you later. Bye!